Hi, I'm Max Henderson, and I'm a cyber analyst with Pondurance. Pondurance is a cybersecurity firm. And in cybersecurity, there are so many different firms that kind of focus on one thing. Pondurance kind of incorporates many different aspects into one firm. While one may focus on forensics or may focus on offensive hacking, things like that, Pondurance kind of has multiple aspects to their tree. And so you look at different areas, which you may not be familiar with, but things like compliance and penetration testing and forensics and proactive monitoring and engineering and development. Pondurance has all of those things built into one, and they kind of all tie together. My job as a cyber analyst, and there's many different cyber analysts within Pondurance, but my specific role is I run the forensics team. And so I'm the guy who comes in and catches the hacker and gets the hacker out. So if we think about, let's say a hospital's been hacked into and they're holding them ransom for millions of dollars, I'm the person who comes in and gets that hacker out and gets the hospital back up and running. What you see in movies and TV shows is pretty inaccurate for how hacking works. They make it seem like you open up a laptop from anywhere and you're just hacking into some sort of company and you have it taken over in a matter of seconds, or that you're typing back and forth on the keyboard versus another hacker. And that's just not how it goes. It's a very drawn out process. It's like a game of chess. It goes on for weeks, sometimes months. Sometimes they'll get a 3-month head start on what I'm trying to do. And it takes them a long time. We're talking about thousands and thousands of systems that they have to move through and thousands of systems that I have to get ahead of them in. And it's just a long drawn out process, and it does not happen instantaneously like they make it appear like in the movies. So as far as what's required to do what I do, and we think about education and certifications, there's none. They help. I think that what I've done, the path that I've taken, I did go to Florida State University. I did get my bachelor's. I did get a certification in reverse engineering malicious software. But there's other people who I work with who haven't done any of that, and they're better than I am at what we do. I think that what's interesting about our industry is that most of the material is free. It's sitting there on YouTube. I did 5 years worth of research. I took all these very, very expensive courses, and I had a friend come in and catch up to me in 1 year just by watching YouTube videos. And he's just looking at malware analysis or looking at analysis of code and hacking and different techniques. And every single thing that he learned is the exact same things that I learned spending all this money on all this coursework. And I think that the coursework that I did learn from was very, very helpful. And what I learned from Florida State was extremely helpful. But there are other people who found their own path to get to where I am and to pass where I am, and they didn't even spend a dollar. I think when you look at the security industry and how they're hiring and what they're looking for, it's very different from firm to firm. You have your boutique firms that have 10, 15 employees. You have your super large firms that have 10,000 employees. I think a lot of what we look for at that entry level is just really that curiosity and just wanting to learn more. I think that if you want to be successful in cybersecurity, I don't think it's something where you just clock in every day and you just do your work and you just clock out. I think it's something that it's truly a passion. It's something that you have to be in love with. And you can kind of tell when you talk to someone in those entry level interviews is somebody who just really wants to learn and really wants to challenge themselves and just learning the code. And to spot those types of people that really have a passion for it, that's, I think, the biggest key to success. I love the challenge. I think, especially for my side of security, getting to actually be face to face with the hackers and see what they do. You get all these groups out of Russia and Eastern Europe that are very, very good at what they do, but there's so many of them and they're so diverse. So kind of learning who I'm up against and what they prefer to do and kind of how to counter step them, it's really a challenge. It's a lot of fun, especially seeing how they write code and go in their own ways to pull off what they pull off, and then figuring out how I can get ahead of them and figure out how to get them out and outsmart them. So the challenges to what I do is definitely the sleep schedule for my specific role. I think that you get these Russian and Eastern European hackers who come in and lock up a hospital at 3 a.m. because for them it's noon. That can be definitely tough to adjust to that. It doesn't happen too frequently that I get that phone call, but when it does, definitely being prepared to be up and on top of my stuff in the middle of the night would be the biggest challenge. Advice that I would share is to get in at an early age. I think that there's a lot of opportunities at that younger age that I missed out on. I think the big one is that at a young age, I was playing all of these video games. And what I didn't realize is that sometimes these hackers or ways that people would try and get better at that game is the same way that people are hacking in the real world. Sometimes it's the same people who are writing that code. The same one who's locking up a hospital is the same one who's writing a cheat code to Call of Duty. And many times I didn't realize that when I had the opportunity to look at that code or the opportunity to analyze how that works, it's the same thing that would carry on many years later.